Okay, everyone, you can see I have now gone over the part with the gold pencil. So I'm ready to start first putting the center lines on and then the dimensions. After you go over with gold pencil too, just make sure everything's cleaned up. It looks nice. Overall, this is pretty good. Anything, I maybe went over this a little bit too thick here. You can see it's a little bit darker. So I could use my eraser shield and just maybe just erase a here off of that. You know, nothing crazy. But overall, we're looking pretty good. Center lines, you're going to use the blue pencil. I'm going to start with the horizontal one. And remember, a center line has dashes in it. You know, it's going to look like this. Solid line, little space, and then a little dash. So I'll start with the horizontal one. I have all my center marks already in there. It's a blue pencil. I'm not going to connect to the center mark, so leave a little bit of space. And it's kind of up to you where you're going to put the center marks. Like I'll put one maybe right here. So I'll leave a little center mark there. Again, don't connect to the center mark. I'm going to put one right here in the middle. And then maybe I'll put one right here. And then I got to go move over here a little bit. Next, I'll just go out a 1/2 inch. I won't even put one on that side. So there's my center line. So I left a few dashes in there. Now I got to do the horizontal ones. Let's see, I'll put one maybe right here. And then just be like consistent. So if you put one here, let's put one on there as well on the bottom. So it's symmetrical. I'll do the same thing here. Now here I'll go about a 1/2 inch outside. Center mark right there. Center mark right there, and then a 1/2 inch down. A little bit bigger. And then another one over here. So again, I'll go a 1/2 inch outside. Center mark there, and go down. Center mark right here, and then go down a 1/2 inch. All right. Also, I need to kind of fill in these little areas. So I'll do one here, and I won't leave the dashes in there. Don't connect to the corner. Leave a little bit of space. And also don't connect to the center mark. So kind of like that, just 2 lines. And over here, I'll just do one just right here in this corner, like that. And like that. Okay, now that we have the center lines in, we're ready to start dimensioning this. And remember the dimensioning rules. You want to be start 3/8 away from a part. You also want to letter everything 1/4 of an inch. All right, so I'm going to start with the 2.5, the 2, and the 7 on the bottom. And again, you're trying to replicate this. So we want to go 3/8 down from right here because that's the bottom of our part, not 3/8 from up here. So 3/8 from there, and then we're going to go another 3/8 for the 7. So that means I have the 2 here, the 2.5 here. So that would be considered the bottom of my part. So now I need to go down a grid and a 1/2 of the next one. And I'm going to draw in my 2 dimension lines here. So there'll be one here. Leave a space in the middle so you can write the dimension. And then one right there. So those will be my 2 dimension lines. Now I have to bring the extension lines down here as well, but I'm going to do the 7 first. So for the 7-inch dimension line, we're going to go down another grid and a 1/2. So that's going to put me down to here. Now that dimension goes from the center of this hole to the left edge of the part. So the dimension line will start here. Leave a space somewhere in the middle, and it will end right there. Okay, so here's my dimension lines. Now notice the center lines are there, but we need to add the extension line coming down, also from the corner. So we're going to go, don't connect to the corner, leave a space, bring it down. Same thing here. Now this one will be really small. You don't want to connect it to the center mark either. So leave a little space, go down. So that's kind of a smaller one. And remember the space that you leave or you take out, you add it to the end. Now here, it's okay to connect it to the center mark. So we can actually just extend this line. So this center line is going to kind of blend in and kind of go right into the extension line. Go a little bit past. And then the last one, same thing here. You can connect it to that center line and bring it down a little bit past. Now I can write my dimensions in there. So this one's going to say 2.5. This one's going to say 2. And this one's going to say 7. Don't forget the arrows. Always double check you got all the arrows on there. Again, back and forth just a few times. Make sure you fill them in. They don't need to be really big or anything. All right, so we got our dimensions down there on the bottom. Let's see, we'll do the 1/2 inch, maybe in the 45 up top. So let's do this. We're going to go here. First, the 1/2 inch dimension is going to go right here, but it's going to be really, that dimension line is going to be really short because we still need to leave a little space in the middle. It's really going to just be like that. Now here I can go, again, don't connect to the corner, go up. Here, don't connect to the corner, just go up a little bit. I'm going to write a 1/2 inch. And then the arrows, you can even do the arrows on the outside. Like there's really not going to be enough room here. You can see how the arrows are on the outside there. So that's okay too. We can do this. So there's my 1/2 inch dimension. And the 45, I'm going to go out this way. And then from here, I'm going to extend that extension line a little bit further. Maybe a little bit further than that. Okay. I'm going to take one of my circle templates like we did with the last drawing. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to leave a space in the middle. Draw the curve, and then I can write in there 45 degrees. And arrows. All right, so if I was doing, I'm not going to do all of these this time. Like the 4.5 would go on this side. You'd go 3/8 over and do the 4.5 dimension over there. There's a 1 inch dimension here in the middle. I do want to do a couple leader dimensions just because those we haven't done yet. So like if I was doing, I'll do this 1.25 inches and this 1.5 inches. Those are pointing to the circle and the curve. Those you want to go roughly at about a 45-degree angle. You're going to start at the center mark. You're going to go out, again, roughly 45 degrees. You can kind of eyeball that. And then you're going to go over horizontally just a little bit. Here we can write our dimension in here. It's 1.25 inches radius. And then just pay close attention to where the arrow is pointing. The radius is for this outside curve, so we want the arrow to point on the outside curve. Don't put the arrow on this hole or on the center mark. It should always point to the feature that you're dimensioning, in this case, the 1.25 inch radius. The 1.5 inch diameter is for the hole. So when you start this one, again, go out about 45 degrees. Over to the right just a little bit. We can now write our dimension. So 1.5 inch diameter. Arrow should point to the hole. Okay. You also notice it says stock 1/8 inch thick. I want you to letter that nice and neat up on the top somewhere. That tells us how thick the part is. So we can't see, this thing, is it 1 inch thick? Is it a 1/4 inch thick? We don't know. Well, this dimension tells us that it's 1/8 of an inch thick. So letter that nice and neat with your blue pencil. And then we're going to letter our name at the bottom, just like we did the last drawing. Your name, Carl Sandburg High School, you can abbreviate it. And then in this case, it's going to be the adjusting arm. So same thing you did on the last drawing. Name, CSHS adjusting arm at the bottom, nice and neat. I know I didn't do every single dimension on there, but you can take a look at this one. That's what it'll kind of look like when it's done. All right, so that completes the adjusting arm drawing.